Hey there, welcome back to the second part of Excel for Financial Modeling series. In this video, we are going to understand the 13 core formulas of Excel that will help you structure the entire model and make it presentable. So my name is Karandamanya. I am an ex-investment banker turned founder, and through onboarding careers, we help you build successful career in finance. Let's get onto the screen and start understanding these 13 core formulas. Alright, so we are going to practically apply these 13 formulas that we have mentioned over here, and we are going to perform this on this assignment section that we have created, where using this assignment we are going to work upon solution, which is this. We need to create this entire distorted table into this well designed professional table using the data and the formula that we have. So we are going to apply each and every formula step by step. So let's get started with the first formula, which is about rows. So here in the first formula we have select row and the row size that we need to change. Okay, so we come to assignment. We see that the rows are not very well aligned. When we are seeing the solution, the row size is very well aligned. We can see that the row size is 24 pixels, that is 14.4, and when we see our assignment, the row size is 17 pixels and 10.2. So we need to now adjust the entire row size to 14.4. So for that we are going to select all the rows. Now to select rows, we have formula shift plus space bar. So when we press shift plus bar, we select the row, and if we want to go down and select the entire table, we press shift plus down arrow and we select all the rows of the table. Now we need to change the row height. We have already learned the formula for this. Alt H, which activates the home tab, and then we have O, that will activate the format, and then once again H, that will activate the row height. Here we need to give this 14.4, which we saw in the solution. Perfect. Now this is aligned and looks good enough. We have already completed the first and the second, so we will mark this complete, and this is also completed. Perfect. Next we move to column size and selecting column. First let's see the solution. Over here we can see that the C column is wide enough, then D column is small in size, then E, F, G, H all are aligned very well, and then finally we have J column, which is big enough for notes and references. We will start aligning our columns in the assignment. Column C, which we need to align. So for that we will select the column. So to select the column, we have to press Control plus spacebar. For row it was shift, and for column it is Control. So Control plus spacebar will select the entire column. Now we need to change the column width. So for that the formula is Alt H O W. Okay, so Alt H O and then W. Perfect. So now it is already 35. We will increase it a bit to 40. We saw that D column was very less in width size. So we will reduce the column size of Alt H O W. It is 29. We will change this to 10. Okay, we could reduce it further as well because still it looks big enough. Alt H O W to 5. Alright, so D column is shortened a bit. Then we have E F G H I. Here we are going to plug in these numbers, and for that we need it to be bigger in size, but we are not going to do each one individually. When we select all the columns at once and we change the column width of one, then it changes to all. So let's apply that practically. So when we need to select column E, then we will go and select all the columns up to I. So before that we have to press shift and then go to I, F G H I. All right, now we change the column width of all the 5 columns together. So Alt H O W to 20. This looks fair enough. All right, so now we need to change column width of J, which is already big enough, so that's not a problem for us. All right, so next we are going to move to third formula. We have completed second, that is column size and column selection. So complete. We are going to look third and fourth formula together, where we have add row or column or delete row or column. So for that we will first see the solution. We can see that there are 5 revenue streams. Then we have total revenue, account head, and D for there are B to J columns. All right, so here also we have B to J columns, and we have 4 revenue streams. So we need one which we are going to link from the revenue projection sheet below, but we have one more extra row that we don't want. Now we need to delete this entire row. So For that, let's look at the formula, which was delete row or columns, which is Alt H D. R is for row, C is for column. So let's apply that practically. So we don't want this 10th row, and we want that the total revenue should be in the 10th row. We will delete row number 10. For that, we need to press Alt H, that activates home tab, and then we have delete. For that, we need to press D, and we need to delete the row, delete sheet rows for the, which is done by pressing R. We can see that the total revenue row moved above, which is default for Excel. When you delete a row, the content that is below that row will move upwards. That's why the row number 11 became row number 10. Now we have perfect number of row and column with us. For to understand addition of rows, let's see how it works. For an example, let's assume that this would be above, right? And we know that we have 5 revenue streams. Now we need to add one more. Now for that, we will have to add one more row to this entire table. For that, the row number 9 has to move down to row number 10, and for that we will have to insert one row. The formula for that is Alt H, and then instead of delete, which removes the rows, we need to add one more row. So we will go to I, and then either you can add an entire column. For that, you need to press C, and if you want to add a row to your table, you need to press R. So when I press R, a new row is added and the above row moves down. For example, let's take that this won't, there were only year 1, year 3, year 4, year 5, but we know that year 2 has to come in between of year 1 and year 3. So here we need to add one column between E and F columns. We will use the same formula. So Alt H I is insert, and then we will press C. So when we press C, a column is added to the left hand side of the selected cell. All right, so we saw that we had selected this cell, and then new column got added between E and F, and that column became F. Here we can give this Y2. All right, so that is how you add or delete rows and columns in your worksheet. That way we have completed our formulas 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we will now move on to the next one, which is adding of borders. Let's first look at the solution. Where are we seeing borders? All right, we have borders in row number 4, and we have borders in row number 10. So we can see that the borders that row number 4 has is all borders, that is every cell is having a border, and row number 10 is having borders only in top and bottom. Because there are a lot of border types available that you can give to cell, we need to see what is needed. So going back to the assignment, the fourth row has all borders, so we will select all the cells in table which are in row number 4, and then to give borders, let's see the formula, which is borders formula is Alt H plus B. All right, going back to the assignment, when we press Alt, it activates all the tabs. Next, we want to go into home tab. So H and then B. When we press B, this gives us all the border types that we can give to our entire worksheet. And we saw that the row number 4 had all borders. So all borders is A. That way we give borders to the entire row number 4. And next we had borders for row number 10. So we are going to select all the cells in row number 10 for our table and give borders which were up and down. There, that is, no borders were in between the cell. Once again press Alt H B, and then when we look at the type, we can see that top and bottom borders. So that is what we need to select. All right, so that way we complete borders same as solution, like we have all borders for row 4 and row 10. Perfect. So that way we complete the formula number 5 for our 13 core formulas. We will mark this as complete. Next we have cell color, which is formula number 6, and the shortcut for that is Alt H and H. So let's first look at solution. Where are we seeing colors in our entire table? We can see that it is same in our row number 4 and row number 10. So going back to the assignment, let's first select the row number 4, and we will select all the cells. Now the shortcut was Alt H and once again H. So that activates the color bar which you have in your Excel, and from there we will select the colors which are industry standards. So industry works with blues and yellows, and you can select like the company that you are working for will have their own color code. So that is what you need to take care. Here we are using dark blue. When we give dark color to the cell, the font text which was already in black is not visible. So for that we need to change the font color as well. Now looking at the formulas, we have font color shortcut key as Alt H FC. Now going back to our solution, we can see that the font color of row number 4 is white and everything else is black because we have not used dark colors anywhere else. So moving back to the assignment, we will select the row 4 and here we are going to change the font color. So for that, Alt H and then FC. Alright, so this activates the color bar once again and then we can select which color we want. So white was the color. Alright, so that way we have completed color for row number 4 and similarly we are going to do for row number 10 where we have color as a kind of sky blue. So let's select Alt H and then sky blue is the color. All right, perfect. So that way we complete formula number 6 of coloring the cell and coloring the font. Let's now move on to seventh formula, which is alignment. The shortcut is Alt plus H plus AR or AC or AM. Let's understand what each of these mean. So when we look at the solution, we can see that all the years are aligned in the center. Then all the text are aligned on the right hand side. We can see that in column number C, all the text are aligned on the left hand side. The serial number is in middle. To align all these elements, we have this alignment function in our home tab, which we are going to use for this. Now in our assignment, we can see that years are extended towards the right hand side, which we need in the middle. So for that, we are going to select all these 5 years and use the formula. So Alt H. Now Alt H will activate the home tab and then we have this alignment functions over here. AL will move this to left hand side. AC will move this to center and AR will move this to right hand side. Now we saw that in solution, this was in center. So we are going to press A and then C. Alright, so now this has moved from right to center. If we want to change it to left hand side, then we will move to AL and this will go to left hand side. So that way you can change the alignment of the cell based upon where you need it to be. So for us, this is center. Alright, so that completes our seventh formula of alignment. Next, we are going to link cells and the shortcut that you are using is equals to and what you want to link in particular cell. Now let's look at the solution first. We can see that each of the content that we have in our cell is plugged in manually. So when we go to a particular cell, we can see that the content in that cell is written over here. So account head and we have matching account head. But when we move to cell number, let's say C5, we can see that the content in the cell is not matching what the formula bar is saying. It is given revenue projection B11. That is the entire content for the cell number C5 is plugged in from revenue projections B11 sheet. So when we see revenue projection sheet B11, this is total revenue from product sale, right? This is B11. And when we see the solution, yeah, the same thing is being popped up over here. Now that is called as linking. In financial model, everything that you work with should be linked from one another so that any change you make in at a particular place should be reflected in the entire model, and that is called as linking and dynamic modeling. All right, so this is one of the most important thing that you need to take care while you build financial models, that everything should be interlinked with one another. So in our assignment, we can see that revenue projection B11 is already there, but we cannot see the fifth revenue stream, which in this case is exports. But we already have exports, we have pharmacy franchise, we have corporate gifting. So what is missing over here is revenue from B2B tie-ups. Since B2B is in second place, we need to select all these three and then cut from the above place and paste it below. So for that, we have used the simple formula of Control X to cut this. When you select, and if you want to cut, you press Control X, and where you want to paste, you press Control V. This is the base simplest one, so we have not covered in our core formulas. All right, so now we have space left for the total revenue from B2B, which we can link from revenue projection. So when we see solution sheet, we can see that revenue from B2B types is linked from revenue projection B21. All right, so we will go over here, we will press equals to, and when we want to link, we will go over there. So we will go to revenue projection. If you are using mouse, you can go manually, or if you are using keyboard, then you can press control function and then use up or down arrows to move across sheets. So when I press down arrow, we go to solution first and then we go to revenue projection. Now over here, I need to go to cell number B21. All right, so we are in cell number B21 and we will press enter. Okay, so this is linked from the revenue projection sheet. Now we need to link all the numbers that we can see over here, right? So we will start with revenue from product sale. For that, the revenue projection C11 cell is used to link for year one, and it goes on to D11, E11, F11, and G11. So we need to only plug in for first year. So equals to, this was solution revenue projection and C11, that is cell number C11. Okay, so and we need to press enter. This is linked from the revenue projection sheet. Now we need to paste this across 5 years. So we will copy this and paste it in the cell year 2 to year 5. All right, so we can see that all the numbers are pasted from revenue projection sheet. That is C11, then this is D11, then this is E11. Because we have already taken this reference cell from revenue projection sheet, when we copied this and pasted in the next cell, it pasted the next cell to the current copied cell. So that is how Excel works. When you link one particular cell and then paste it across in your row, all the content from that particular sheet will be pasted when you paste across, so that you don't have to do everything manually. All right, so similarly we will complete all the five all the four streams. So revenue from B2B types, we will once again go to revenue projection, and this is the B21. So we will select C21 and press enter. Once again we are going to copy and paste this. Next we have corporate gifting. We will press equals to, go to cell number C28, copy this and paste it across year 5. Once again for pharmacy franchise, cell number C34, copied and paste. And final one is exports, which is this cell, copied and paste. Since this is exports in INR, we have selected this row 42 and not this row 41, which is in dollars. So that you need to take care. All right, so that completes the number pasting over here, and we can see that the format that solution has, it has commas, it is properly aligned, and there are no decimals. So we are going to make it in our assignment as well. So coming to the formula sheet, we have completed the formula number 6 from 7 as well as 8. Now we need to make the format of copy text in format that we have seen in solution. That means it has commas, it does not have decimals like this, and it is properly aligned. So let's see what are the formulas. We can see that in solution there is no currency given to any of this year 1 to year 5 numbers, but there is currency given to the total revenue. So first let's calculate the total revenue. For that we are going to use formula number 10 of sum. Okay, coming back to assignment sheet, we are going to use equals to sum. Now equals to sum will make the total of all the numbers that you give in this formula. So when we press equals to sum, we need to press tab button, and then whatever numbers we want to total up, we need to select those. We want to total all the numbers of year 1, so that we have total revenue that we are doing from all the streams in year 1. Now for that we are going to select cell number E5, E6, E7, E8, E9. So first you need to go to cell number E5, control, press shift and then drag it down up to E9 and then press enter. All right, that way we have total revenue with us. Here we have already used the formula for all revenue streams. We just need to copy this and paste it for further years. Perfect. If you want to check any formula, go to the cell and press F2, and that will open up the formula bar text over here. We can see that it has sum F5 to F9. If we go to year 3 and press F2, we can see that it has G5 to G9, which are all the numbers of year 3. And that way similarly year 5 will have I5 to I9. Perfect. That way we have calculated the total revenue, and next we need to give this a currency symbol. We can see that currently it is all numbers without comma, without with decimal points, and in solution this is properly aligned, bold, with commas and with with currency sign. So for currency sign we have the formula alt H and AN. So we will select all the cells that we want to give currency sign. We will press alt, we will activate home tab, and then AN. So AN will give this current open this currency tab, and here, based upon the Excel version that you are using, you will have all the currency types. For this latest version, you will have rupee sign as well. So I'll press rupees, and that will give rupee sign to the selected cells. Now moving back to the formulas, we don't want the decimal points in our currency. We can see that all the numbers have two decimals. We want to remove that. For that, we have decimal shortcut which we can use from the home tab, that is Alt H 0 or 9. So moving back to the assignment, we will select all the cells, Alt H. Now 0, pressing 0 will increase the decimal points. So if I press 0, that the two decimals have increased to 3. Now if I want to reduce the decimal points, I will press Alt H and 9. Now 9 has reduced from 3 to 2, once again 9, once again 9. And that way all the decimals have gone. Alright, the final step that is remaining to this revenue row is to make this to bold. So I'll press Ctrl plus B, Ctrl plus B, and that is how we make it bold. We saw that all the above numbers, they don't have revenue sign, but they are having commas and no decimal. So we will convert this to comma based and no decimals. So for that, the formula is, to give comma you have to press Alt H and K, and to remove the decimals we already saw that you have to press Alt H 9. So going back to assignment, here we have Alt H K to give commas. Now every cell has two decimals, so we need to press 9 two times. So Alt H 9, Alt H 9. Perfect. Now all the decimals have gone. There is no number without a comma, and the total revenue has a currency sign to that. We complete the formatting of numbers over here. That way we have completed the formulas ninth, 10th, and 11th. The final thing that is remaining, when we see the solution sheet, we have the final element remaining as references or notes, where we can see that it is mentioned revenue projections, and when we hover over this, we can see that something is linked to this. Now if I press this, I am redirected to this revenue projection sheet. So if someone is checking your model, and if you want to reference some link or some sheets to that particular line item, you can do it that this way, that when they come to your notes, when they see that this is linked somewhere and they press, they will be redirected over there. Now we need to add this. So moving back to our assignment, alongside this reference there is one more element that is missing, of adding serial numbers. So this is 3, 4, 5, and this is 6, and this is bold. Now there are reference errors over here. So to remove this, select all the cells and ignore errors. Alright, so the thing that is finally pending over here is notes or references. Now coming back to this, initially we will mention over here revenue projection. Now the alignment of this is not perfect, and the font style is also not Calibri. So we will adjust this. Alt H AC will make this center. Then we have Alt H FF and Calibri, and the font size is also not 10. So we will make this 10. Alright. So here first we need to link this revenue projection button to the revenue projection sheet. Alright. So for that we need to see the formula. Now the formula is right click plus I and choose what to link. So let's see how it can be functioned. We will right click on this, and then we have all the functions that we can perform. Now we need to press I press I and enter. Alright, so this will open where I want to link the entire revenue projection thing. Over here you have lot of things that you can link to particular cell. For me, I just want to link this the revenue projection sheet. Alright, for that we need to select the place in the document button, and from there we need to select the revenue projection cell reference. In cell reference we will select this, so that way when someone presses on revenue projection button, they will be referred to the A1 cell of revenue projection sheet. So I press OK, and we can see that there is underline and kind of color also changes of the button. So if I press this, okay, I am referred to this A1 cell of revenue projection sheet. So moving back to the assignment, we can see that in solution this is in center. So for this we have to make this as merge and center. That is, we have to merge all the cells that are below this, because each and every of the line item is referred from revenue projection. So whenever if they want to check for exports, they also need revenue projection, and rather than pasting all over the place, you can create single button. Wherever they press, they will be redirected. So for that, we need to do a merge and center. The formula for that is Alt H MC. So moving back to assignment, the cells that we want to give this reference to is J5 to J9. Alright, we need to merge all these 5 cells. So we will press Alt H and then MC. When we press M, this will activate the merge and center button, and then we need to press C. So that way it will make this a center part of the entire 5 cells. But we can see that it has gone down. Now we need to bring this up. Now to make this come to middle, you will press Alt H and then use AM. So currently it is at the bottom and we need to bring it to middle. And if you want to make it to top, then you use top align. So for us, we are going to make it to middle. All right, perfect. All right, so that way we have completed our formula number 12 and formula number 13 of linking the sheet and making it merge and center. And now we can see that the assignment is same as the solution that we have already created. And that way we have learned how you can professionally create entire table while you build your financial model, how you can link sheets and align everything as per industry standards. That way we complete the 13 core formulas that you need for modeling. Alright, so that was it for the second part. Hope now you know how to use these 13 core formulas and make your Excel model presentable. So that was it for this video. See you in the next part where we are going to learn 9 advanced formulas that will make your Excel skills more fast and efficient. So see you in the next one. Until then, this is Karan Damania taking your leave.